Sometimes I sit and wonder if there's a better way to hit my goals, like how do I stay positive or shift my mindset when things feel off? And I'm sure you've probably had the same thought at some point, or maybe you're in that place right now, which is why you're here. And there's just so much advice out there, and honestly, it can get overwhelming trying to sort through it all. But there's one thing that's really worked for me over the years, and that's the way I think shapes who I become. And you're probably curious, so let me explain. You see, there's this interesting effect named after a video game of all things that can totally change how you see the world and how you experience life in ways you might not expect. And that game, well, it's Tetris. Yeah, Tetris. You see, the Tetris Effect gets its name from that classic game where you stack falling blocks to clear those lines. And after playing that long enough, people started seeing those blocks everywhere, like in their dreams and random objects, even when they closed their eyes. But here's the thing. The Tetris Effect isn't just about the video game. It's actually a powerful insight into how our brains work. When you repeat something often enough, it literally rewires how we see the world. What we focus on shapes how we think and act. It's kind of wild, right? So however I think, I become. Now, this idea might remind you of that quote from Henry Ford, the automaker, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Your mindset becomes your reality. And this happens in all areas of life, whether you're learning a skill, playing a game, or just going through your daily thoughts. If you're constantly focused on something, whether it's positive or negative, it starts to take over how you think and act, almost without you realizing it. And that's how habits form. The more we repeat something, the more our brains adapt, and that repetition creates patterns. And the real question is, what kind of patterns are you creating? Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. There's actually a study from the Automation and Construction Journal that applied the principles of Tetris to construction scheduling. They found that by aligning tasks tightly without gaps, projects finished faster and more efficiently. Now, think about that for a second. If construction crews can complete projects faster by reducing gaps between tasks, what would happen if you did the same with your thoughts and habits? If you focus on aligning them without leaving space for negativity or distractions, imagine how much more efficiently you could reach your goals. Just like in Tetris, when we fit our habits and thoughts together in the right way, we can build the life we actually want, piece by piece. It's all about setting things up to support your growth and keeping that momentum going. So what's actually going on in your brain when you experience the Tetris effect? Well, it all comes down to something called neuroplasticity. You see, neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections, kind of like rewiring itself based on what you do and you think. The more you repeat a behavior or thought, the stronger those connections get. It's like carving a path through the woods. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier it becomes to follow. Now picture this. Have you ever thought you found a path, but it was barely there, all overgrown and hard to follow? That's what it's like when your thoughts are unclear or full of distractions. It leaves you feeling lost or uncertain. And this is exactly how habits form, whether they're good or bad. Your brain adapts to whatever you do, think, or focus on regularly. So if you're always caught up in negative thoughts or distractions, that becomes the well-worn path your brain defaults to. And I'm sure you've met people who seem to have their minds stuck in that negative loop. And on the flip side, you've probably also met people who radiate positivity. It's no coincidence. Remember that study I mentioned earlier about construction, where minimizing gaps between tasks made projects run more efficiently? It's the same idea with your thoughts. When you have gaps like distractions, procrastinations, or negative thinking, your progress slows down. But when you tighten things up and focus consistently on positive habits, everything flows more smoothly and efficiently. And your brain works in a similar way, just like in construction where reducing delays boosts efficiency, reducing distractions and negative thoughts in your life speeds up your personal growth. It's about creating a mental routine packed with positive habits, leaving no room for negativity to creep in. And the more you focus on positive actions, whether that's practicing gratitude, working toward a goal, or just being mindful of what's on your mind, the more those positive pathways in your brain get reinforced. And just like with a construction project, your personal growth happens faster when there's less room for interruptions. The first step to using the Tetris effect for personal growth is pretty simple. Recognize the patterns in your life. Take a moment and ask yourself this: what thoughts or behaviors do you keep repeating every day? Are they helping you move forward, or are they holding you back? If your day is filled with distractions, negative thinking, or procrastination, those are like the gaps in your personal schedule. Just like gaps in a construction project causes delays, these mental gaps slow down your progress. So where are you wasting your energy? What's taking your focus away from what really matters? Once you identify those patterns, it's a lot easier to see where you can swap out the negative habits for more positive ones. What are the gaps in your life that are pulling you off track from achieving your goals? Once you spot those patterns, it's time to rewire your brain. Kind of like rearranging tasks in a construction project to make everything flow more smoothly. Now, the cool thing about your brain is that it's adaptable. By consciously choosing better thoughts and actions, you can create new positive mental pathways. But how do you do that? Well, you start small. One of the easiest ways is to practice gratitude every day. Just write down one thing you're grateful for, either in the morning or before going to bed. It's a simple habit, but it shifts your brain's focus from what's wrong to what's right. And I do this with my gratitude journal every day, and it really sets a positive tone first thing in the morning. Another tip: set small, achievable goals. These little wins reinforce a growth mindset. Think of it like making small adjustments in a construction project. Each small change adds up and improves the overall process. It doesn't have to be a huge overhaul. Just focusing on one positive habit and repeating it consistently can start reshaping your thinking. Now, here's the most important part: consistency. This is where most of us fall short, but just like that, research showed projects get completed faster and more efficiently when tasks are done consistently without gaps. You see, your brain works the same way. The more you repeat positive actions and thoughts without letting negative distractions sneak in, the stronger those new pathways become. Consistency is what rewires your brain, whether it's practicing gratitude, setting goals, or simply focusing on positive thoughts. The more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. Just like a smooth running construction project, your personal growth speeds up when there's no interruptions. So remember, step 1, recognize the patterns in your life. Step 2, rewire your brain for more efficiency. And step 3, stay consistent. That's how you use the Tetris effect to transform your life. Now, here's something really interesting that I haven't mentioned yet. You can actually use the Tetris effect when you're asleep to help your brain process thoughts, goals, or even problems you're trying to solve. Think about it like this: just like how Tetris players see falling blocks in their dreams after playing for hours, your brain can keep working on whatever you focus on right before bed. What you think about as you're drifting off to sleep actually matters. Your brain doesn't just shut off when you're out. It's still processing information, reinforcing patterns, and sometimes even solving problems while you rest. So if you focus on something positive, a challenge you're working on, a goal, or a problem you want to solve, right before you sleep, your brain may continue processing it while you snooze. Now, this is similar to the Tetris effect, where repeated exposure to something carries over into your subconscious mind. Let's say you're working toward a goal, maybe improving a skill, tackling a tough problem, or even just trying to shift your mindset towards something more positive. If you set an intention before bed, like focusing on that goal or imagining yourself solving that problem, you're basically priming your brain to keep working on it while you sleep. Let me give you an example. When I was younger, I used to be into skiing, snow skiing that is, and before bed, I'd often picture myself on the slopes thinking about how to make smoother turns and better pull plans. My goal was to improve my technique, and while I can't say it made me a professional skier overnight, I definitely noticed a difference over time. The more I focused on the process before I fell asleep, the better I seemed to recall those moves when I was actually on the mountain. It wasn't magic, but it definitely helped me improve my skiing. And this just isn't wishful thinking. There's science behind it. Research shows that your brain processes information during sleep, reinforcing what it's been exposed to throughout the day. Just like Tetris players dream of blocks, you can dream of process ideas that lead to new insights by focusing on them right before you sleep. And here's how you can apply this tonight. Set a sleep intention right before you close your eyes. Focus on something positive you want to work on, a problem, a goal, or even a simple affirmation for personal growth. Repeat it in your mind and let your brain take over while you sleep. The more you do this, the stronger the effect becomes. Through repetition, your brain will continue to shape those thoughts, even while you're resting. So you're not just getting a good night's sleep, you're growing, problem solving, and creating new mental pathways at the same time. So whether it's working on a solution, reinforcing positive habits, or setting your mind up for personal growth, you can use the Tetris Effect to prime your brain even while you sleep. And remember, what you focus on consistently shapes your mind. And with the Tetris Effect, that shaping can continue even while you're catching up on some well-deserved rest. Okay, my friends, we're about near the end here. And just to recap, the Tetris Effect isn't just about a video game. It's about how your brain works. You see, when you repeat certain actions or thoughts, your brain creates new pathways, and over time, those patterns shape how you see the world. So by focusing on positive, growth-oriented habits and closing those gaps where negative thoughts creep in, you can actually rewire your brain for personal growth. Just like a well-planned project or a winning game of Tetris, your life starts to flow more smoothly and becomes more aligned with your goals. And remember, what you focus on consistently will shape your reality. So be mindful of your thoughts and actions. They're the building blocks of your life. And think about it. Just like in Tetris, where each piece you place matters. Your thoughts and actions are the pieces that build your life. So the real question is, what kind of patterns are you building? And as always, I want to thank you for watching. If this video helped you see things a little differently, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's build something great, one piece at a time.